The sound of Park Soyeon's fingers tapping on the keyboard echoed through the cramped studio apartment. Junhyuk, look at this. Mom will help you set up the server structure. Her 21-year-old son, Junhyuk, glanced at the laptop screen and let out a sigh. Mom, you don't need to do that anymore. I can handle it myself. Soyeon smiled bitterly. Things were different 15 years ago. Back when she worked in the server security team at a mid-sized gaming company, everyone recognized her skills. When junior developers came to her with problems, Soyeon would solve them within 30 minutes. But now things had changed. It had been 14 years since she quit her job. After giving birth to her second son, Junseo, technology had evolved too much in that time. After her husband died in a car accident 5 years ago, Soyeon barely made ends meet by running an online tutoring platform. Mom used to be an expert at this stuff, Soyeon muttered. Junhyuk didn't respond and went to his room. That's when it happened. Her younger son, Junseo, screamed from the living room. Ugh, seriously, why is this happening? Soyeon rushed over to find Junseo glaring at the computer monitor. Red text appeared on the screen. Illegal game access detected. Account permanently suspended. Junseo, what is this? Soyeon's voice turned cold. Mom, this is… You accessed a private server, didn't you? You know that's illegal, right? Junseo hung his head. The 14-year-old boy had been completely absorbed in gaming lately. His grades were dropping and he wasn't hanging out with friends anymore. Soyeon felt her chest tighten. After her husband passed away, she had to watch Junseo become increasingly addicted to games. But she didn't know what to do. When she scolded him, he rebelled. When she tried to comfort him, he ignored her. Mom will block these illegal games for you. Don't ever do this again, Soyeon said firmly. That night, Soyeon rummaged through an old drawer. She found a dusty USB drive. It contained security manuals from her company from 15 years ago. This should be enough to block a private server, Soyeon thought confidently. Mom believed she could fix everything, but that was just an illusion. It would turn out to be a terrible mistake. For 2 days, Soyeon stayed up all night. She tried to block the private server by adjusting firewall settings and modifying the network. She entered code based on memories from 15 years ago. Got it, Soyeon cheered. The monitor displayed a block successful message. But the next morning, Mom, because of you, even my official game account is gone. Junseo shouted tearfully. When Soyeon checked, it was true. While trying to block only the private server, she had also blocked Junseo's official game account. 3 years' worth of character development and hundreds of dollars worth of items were all gone. Mom is sorry. Mom will fix it for you. Fix it? You ruined everything. Junseo slammed his door shut. Soyeon collapsed to the floor. Trying to protect her son, she had hurt him instead. I have to fix this somehow. Soyeon started searching online communities related to gaming. While looking for recovery methods, she found a post. Account recovery specialist. Any problem solved within 2 days. Contact via QQ Messenger. The ID was tech_mom88. Soyeon hesitated. QQ Messenger was a Chinese app, but she had no other options. That night at 11 p.m., Soyeon installed QQ and sent a message. Hello, can you recover my son's game account? The reply came immediately. Possible. Please explain the problem. Soyeon explained the situation in detail. The other person asked several questions. But something was strange. The timing of the questions was odd. Even though it was past midnight in Korean time, replies came quickly. If it's China, there's only a 1-hour time difference. Soyeon didn't think much of it. How much does recovery cost? 2 million won. Full recovery guaranteed. 2 million won. Soyeon bit her lip. This month's tutoring platform commission was barely 1,500,000 won. But she remembered Junseo's tearful face. Okay. Please give me the account information. Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. I'll start immediately once the transfer is confirmed. The next morning, Soyeon went to the bank. It was her first time sending money overseas. The teller asked, "What's the reason for sending money to China?" "To recover my son's game account." The teller made a strange expression but said nothing. The transfer was completed. That evening, Junseo's account was perfectly restored. The character and all items came back. "Mom, everything's back!" Junseo smiled brightly for the first time. Soyeon smiled too. Although it cost a lot of money, she had gotten her son's smile back. But Soyeon didn't know where that money had actually gone. A week later, a message came through QQ Messenger. "Is the account recovery working well?" Soyeon sent a thank you message. Yes, thank you so much. My son was so happy. I'm glad. I'm also a mother raising a child, so I understand that feeling. Soyeon was surprised. Oh, really? Do you have a son or daughter? A daughter. She's 16 this year. She's growing up in Pyongyang. Pyongyang. Soyeon's fingers stopped. That meant North Korea. But strangely, instead of feeling wary, she felt an odd sense of connection. That must be hard. I'm also raising two kids alone. What about your husband? He passed away in an accident 5 years ago. That must have been very difficult. It was a brief conversation, but Soyeon felt comforted. Even though they were from different countries with different systems, she thought a mother's heart was the same everywhere. A few days later, the other person contacted her first. Did you work with computers? From our conversation, you seem like an expert. Soyeon felt proud. I used to handle server security at a gaming company. Though that was 15 years ago, that's impressive. I do similar work. Soyeon naturally opened up about her past. The days when she was recognized at work, memories of teaching, new employees, and the career she had to give up for childcare. The other person listened empathetically. You've had a hard time because of your children, but my kids are everything to me. The conversations continued. They talked about gaming technology and about raising children. Soyeon felt like she was having a serious conversation with someone, for the first time in ages. Then a month later, Jun-hyuk was struggling with a college assignment. It was a game server construction project. Mom, this is so difficult. I need to build a modern server security system. Soyeon's ears perked up. Should Mom help you? Mom, your skills are outdated. The professor said to reflect current trends. Outdated. That word stung Soyeon's pride. I'm outdated. That night, Soyeon opened QQ Messenger. Can you get materials on modern game server construction? It's for my older son's college project. The reply came. Possible. I can give you server structure analysis. Materials from major Korean gaming companies. Really? How much? 3 million won. But this is special service. It includes the latest security vulnerability analysis. 3 million won. Soyeon hesitated. But Jun-hyuk's words about her being outdated kept echoing in her mind. I need to show how helpful of a mom I can be. Soyeon withdrew her savings. 2 days after the transfer, the materials arrived. The file size alone was over 10 gigabytes. It contained detailed information about major Korean gaming companies' server structures, security systems, and vulnerability lists. With this, Soyeon felt proud. Jun-hyuk, Mom got the materials. If you do your assignment with this, you'll get an A+. Jun-hyuk skeptically accepted the materials. But when he opened the files, his face hardened. Mom, where did you get this? Why? Isn't it good material? It's too detailed. This looks like internal documents. Soyeon laughed. Mom has a wide network. Jun-hyuk didn't ask anymore. And he completed the assignment with those materials. 3 weeks later, Jun-hyuk came home. His face was bright. Mom, I got an A+. Soyeon was happy. Of course. The materials Mom gave you were good, right? Yes, the professor praised me so much. He asked how I got materials like this. Soyeon's chest swelled with pride. I'm still a useful mom. The confidence she had lost during 15 years of just childcare was slowly coming back. Junseo had also become much brighter after his game account was restored. His grades were starting to improve little by little. Mom really does need to solve things. Soyeon was satisfied. But 3 days later, the doorbell rang. At 2 p.m., it wasn't time for deliveries. When Soyeon opened the door, 2 men in suits were standing there. You're Park Soyeon, right? The voice was cold. Yes, but why? National Intelligence Service Cyber Safety Center. We're here to confirm something. Soyeon's heart sank. National Intelligence Service. What? What is this about? May we come inside? The men showed a warrant. Soyeon opened the door with trembling hands. One of the investigators sitting in the living room took out a laptop. You recently sent money to China, correct? Yes. It was to recover my son's game account. And you sent an additional 3 million won. That was for my son's college project materials. The investigator nodded. Do you know who received that money? Soyeon was speechless. Someone from China, wasn't it? The investigator turned the laptop screen toward her. The screen showed a complex money transfer route. Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, Hong Kong Shell Company, Chosun Nungrado Trading Company, Korean Workers' Party Room 39. And at the bottom was a line in red text. Kim Jong-un Regime Ruling Fund account. Soyeon couldn't breathe. What? What is this? The 5 million won Park Soyeon sent went into North Korean regime funds. The investigator's voice grew heavy. And the materials you gave your son, do you know what they are? Soyeon shook her head. Vulnerability analysis materials for hacking servers of major South Korean gaming companies. Information collected by North Korean cyber units over 3 years. Soyeon's face turned pale. I didn't know. It was just for my son's assignment. Of course. We believe Park Soyeon didn't do this intentionally. The investigator sighed. But the result is that you provided funds to North Korea and cooperated in obtaining national security information. Just then, Junhyuk came home from school. Mom, I'm Ho. Huh? Junhyuk stopped when he saw the strange men in the living room. The investigator stood up. You're Junhyuk, right? You also need to be investigated. Me? Why? The materials you used for your assignment are information leaked from North Korea. Junhyuk's face hardened. Mom, the materials you gave me. Soyeon couldn't say anything. CH5, Mom's gift. Put her son in danger. The investigation continued for 3 months. Soyeon and Junhyuk had to report to the National Intelligence Service every week. The facts revealed during the investigation were shocking. The QQ Messenger account tech_mom88 belonged to a hacker at the Pyongyang Computer Center. Her name was Kim Hyejin, 38 years old. She really was a mother raising a 16-year-old daughter. But her real mission was to contact South Korean citizens to collect information and secure funds. Soyeon's request for game account recovery was a good test subject for them. It was an opportunity to test South Korean gaming company security systems and verify bypass techniques. And the second request, the server construction materials, was even more dangerous. The investigator explained, the materials Junhyuk received contained server vulnerabilities of 15 major domestic gaming companies. Information North Korea collected over 3 years. Then my son used those materials for his assignment and submitted them to the university server. The investigator sighed. Fortunately, the professor noticed something was wrong and reported it to us, so we prevented it from spreading. Junhyuk kept his head down. I really didn't know. Because Mom gave me the materials. Soyeon felt like her heart was being torn apart. That night, Soyeon took out the old USB drive again, the company's security manual from 15 years ago. She opened the files one by one, and she got goosebumps. Some of the materials Kim Hyejin sent were identical to the contents of this USB. North Korea had already obtained the security manual from 15 years ago. From back then, North Korea had our company information from back then, Soyeon realized. Why Kim Hyejin showed interest when Soyeon mentioned, I used to work at a gaming company. She was trying to verify Soyeon's past career and figure out what information she had. And she exploited Soyeon's pride. A mother hurt by her son's words about outdated technology. Using that pain, she extracted more information and money. Soyeon collapsed. 3 months later, the prosecutor's investigation began. The prosecutor looked at Soyeon and said, we judge there was no intent, but the consequences are serious. Please be lenient with my son. It's my fault. Junhyuk is not a minor, he's a college student. He had a duty to verify the source of the materials. Soyeon fell to her knees. I'll take full responsibility. My son, please my son. But the law was cold. CH6, Mom couldn't protect her son until the end. The courtroom. The judge read the verdict. Defendant Park Soyeon sent a total of 5 million won to a North Korean hacking organization and obtained and distributed materials containing national security information. Soyeon couldn't lift her head. Intent is not recognized, but the negligence is serious. I sentence you to 1 year and 6 months in prison. From the gallery, the sound of Junseo sobbing could be heard. Defendant Jung Junhyuk submitted a college assignment using materials from an unknown source. Willful negligence is recognized. I sentence him to 8 months in prison, suspended for 2 years. Junhyuk said nothing. After the verdict, as they left the courtroom, Soyeon approached Junhyuk. Junhyuk looked straight at Soyeon. Because of you, Mom, my life is over. His voice was cold. At least you got probation. That's fortunate. Fortunate? I can't get a job now. I have a criminal record. Tears welled up in Junhyuk's eyes. You always said that, Mom. That you'd do anything for me. But in the end, you ruined everything. Junhyuk, Mom, don't contact me anymore. I don't want to see your face. Junhyuk turned and walked away. Soyeon stood there watching her son's back. The son she tried to protect. The mom who only hurt him in the end. 1 year and 6 months. Soyeon spent the time in a women's prison. Only Junseo came to visit. Jung-hyuk never came once. How's your brother? He's doing well, Mom. Don't worry. Junseo was bad at lying. He couldn't make proper eye contact. Soyeon knew that Jung-hyuk had left home, that he cut off contact. The day of her release. Only Junseo was waiting outside the prison. Mom, let's go. They silently got on the bus. When they got home, Soyeon opened Jung-hyuk's door. It was empty. Desk, clothes, everything was gone. Soyeon sank to the floor. What? What have I done? A mom who tried to protect her son? A mom who lost her son in the end. That night, Junseo handed Soyeon his phone. Mom, this. On the screen was a QQ message. Sendertech_mom88. Please tell your mother. My daughter entered university this year. Computer science major. Thanks to your mother, our family is doing well. Thank you. From Pyongyang, Kim Hyejin. Soyeon looked at the phone. Kim Hyejin was also a mother. She worked for her daughter and sent her daughter to university with that money. Soyeon also sent money for her son. But the results were different. Kim Hyejin's daughter became a college student. Soyeon's son became a criminal. Soyeon slowly put down the phone. She looked out the window. It was raining. Junseo sat next to her. Mom, it's okay. Brother will come back someday. Soyeon held Junseo's hand. I'm sorry. Why? Mom. Pretended to know too much. I believed I could solve everything. Junseo shook his head. You did your best, Mom. Her best. Soyeon smiled bitterly. A story where a mother's best became her son's worst. The rain kept falling. Soyeon looked out the window and murmured, Jung-hyuk, I'm sorry. But those words reached no one.